What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are diving deep into some of the most unbelievable stories and jaw-dropping secrets you'll ever hear. From a therapist's most unforgettable case to a farm mystery that defies all logic, and a girl with a nose problem that's much, much worse than a bug, we're also going to expose some of the things that all guys do but will never, ever admit. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss a second of this. We're starting with a story that's going to stick with you. It comes from a therapist who shared a case that changed their entire perspective on their job. They said they'll never forget it, and after hearing it, you'll understand why. It all starts with an 11-year-old boy who walked into his office, sat down, and with tears streaming down his face said something that would haunt the therapist for a long time. He said, "My daddy's not alive because of me." The boy then began to share a story that was a masterclass in tragedy. On the outside, his family seemed perfect. Normal suburban life, a loving mom and dad, and a bright, happy kid. But everything changed when his father started to climb the corporate ladder. With each promotion, the father became more and more detached from his family. He traded family dinners for late nights at the office, and eventually, the pressure became too much. He fell into a deep and spiraling addiction. The boy, just a child, would lie awake at night, listening to the muffled shouts and quiet sobs coming from his parents' bedroom. He would silently cry into his pillow, a silent witness to his family's slow-motion collapse. When the boy was 9, his father hit rock bottom. He made a promise to his family, a promise to get sober, to get help, and to be the man they all needed him to be. For a while, it seemed like it was working. The family started to heal, but then the boy discovered something that shattered all hope. He found out his father was having an affair. His father, in a moment of desperation, begged him to keep it a secret, but the boy, carrying the weight of his family on his small shoulders, couldn't. He told his mother. The news was the final blow. His mother filed for divorce, and because of the father's unstable state, was granted full custody. His father's mental health completely shattered. He lost his job, his family, and eventually, his will to live. With nothing left, he showed up at his son's soccer practice. He was desperate. He promised his son ice cream, and in a fleeting, misguided moment, he tried to take him and flee the state. At a gas station, the boy saw his chance. He called the police. His father, in a rage, found out and blamed his son for everything. For ruining his life, for taking his family away. That night, his father ended his life. The boy lived with the crushing weight of that moment, believing he was the reason his dad was gone. The therapist's voice broke as he recounted this story, saying he could never, ever forget the face of that child. Now let's shift gears to a story that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. This is the case of Susan, a 16-year-old girl who believed there was a bug in her nose, but what the doctors discovered was far, far more terrifying. Susan started complaining to her mom about strange pains in her nose and head. She kept saying, "Mom, I think there's a bug stuck in there." The feeling was so intense, so real, that she was scared. During a late-night conversation, her mother saw how genuinely frightened Susan was and decided to take her to the hospital. Upon arrival, Susan's story left the nurses in shock. A medical team quickly gathered, expecting to just deal with a simple bug. Susan was nervous, holding her mother's hand so tightly her knuckles were white. The doctors began the examination. Everyone in the room was anxious, but suddenly, what seemed like a simple procedure turned into a real nightmare. A palpable silence filled the room. What the doctors saw when they examined Susan's nose left everyone in shock. They didn't just find a bug. What was inside Susan's nose was something far more terrifying, something even the most seasoned doctors didn't expect. It was a live, wriggling, dramatic pause, cliffhanger music, part of a tapeworm that had somehow found its way into her nasal cavity. This wasn't just a bug. It was a parasitic infection that could have traveled to her brain. The doctor's quick action saved her, but the discovery was a chilling reminder of the unknown terrors our bodies can harbor. Okay, now let's talk about some things that everyone secretly knows about boys but will never say out loud. Guys, I'm calling you out. Don't lie. First off, all boys do the helicopter thing after taking a shower. You know what I'm talking about. You're not fooling anyone. We also all feel a weird, undeniable satisfaction after farting loudly. It's a simple pleasure and there's no shame in admitting it. Don't lie, boys. The internet knows. And speaking of the internet, did you know that TikTok knows someone who has a secret crush on you? It's the second person that appears when you click on share, then more. Go on, check it. Let me know in the comments if it's true. And what about those moments when you're home alone? All boys have danced in front of the mirror thinking they're the next big pop star. We've also all been jealous of one of our friends at some point. It's human nature. And speaking of human nature, did you know that 20 million people have the same birthday as you? Write yours in the comments to see who has the same one. It's a fun way to connect. Let's keep going. All boys would love to go outside without a shirt without being judged because, let's face it, sometimes it's just too hot. And while we're on the topic of things we want but can't have, all boys would like to date several girls at the same time. Don't deny it. You've thought about it. And yes, all boys have cried for a girl, and all boys have been scared to talk to their crush. It's a universal experience. Here's a fun one. All boys have tried on girls' clothes at some point. Maybe it was a dare, maybe it was just for fun, but it happened. And to debunk some myths, 1 in 3 boys does not shower every day, and all boys do not brush their teeth every day. And finally, before this last fact, please like this video and subscribe, as we may never see each other again. All boys have had a crush on a teacher before. Come on, admit it. All right, get ready for another one. We're going back to the farm for a mystery that will make you question everything you know about nature. The night was eerily silent when Sarah first heard it. A low, almost human-like moan from the barn. Her family's farm had never been this strange, but something was definitely wrong with Emma, their pregnant cow. Emma was different. No bull had ever been near her, yet somehow she was expecting. Even weirder, Emma would only eat Sarah's mom's homemade lasagna and would completely ignore the regular farm feed. Ghostly, childlike whimpers drifted through the darkness each night, and Sarah and her parents would rush outside with flashlights, scanning the empty fields. As Emma's delivery approached, the tension grew. The veterinarian was completely baffled, and local farmers whispered rumors about strange occurrences. Something just felt wrong. When the moment came, Sarah watched in shock. What emerged wasn't a calf. Something impossible stared back. Something that made her father drop his coffee mug and her blood run cold. Whatever it was, it definitely wasn't from this world. It was a bizarre, amorphous creature, half animal and half something else, with eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. It made no sound, just stared, as if waiting for a command. The family was so terrified they didn't know what to do. The vet had no explanation, and they eventually had to, dramatic pause, cliffhanger music, seal the barn, and call in a team of researchers who specialized in paranormal animal incidents. Finally, we have a story that proves you can never truly know what's going on in someone's life, no matter how close you are to them. It's about a mother who called the police about her 6-year-old daughter, and the reason will leave everyone speechless. One Sunday morning, Sarah, a loving mother, was cleaning the house when she made an unsettling discovery. Hidden in her 6-year-old daughter Mia's room was a large sum of money, several $100s, neatly stacked. Confused and concerned, Sarah couldn't fathom where a child could have gotten so much cash. She immediately asked Mia, who was playing in the garden, about it. Mia's response was simple. "I found it." She refused to say more, no matter how much Sarah pressed. The silence only deepened Sarah's anxiety, leaving her with a host of unsettling questions. Unable to shake her worries, Sarah decided to call the police. When they arrived to investigate, what they uncovered shocked everyone, especially Sarah. The truth behind the money was far more disturbing and unexpected than anyone could have imagined. They didn't find a secret stash from a hidden inheritance or a bank robbery. They discovered that Mia had been secretly, Dramatic pause, cliffhanger music, stealing money from a collection tin at the local church, which was raising funds for a young boy's expensive medical treatment. Mia, not understanding the gravity of her actions, had believed the money was for helping people and had taken it to buy toys for the homeless children she saw in the park. The police were stunned. Sarah was mortified. But in the end, it was a valuable lesson in communication and a reminder of the pure, though misguided, intentions of a child. These stories are just a few examples of how things aren't always what they seem. Whether it's a therapist's unforgettable client, a shocking medical discovery, a bizarre farm mystery, or a child's secret, there's always more to the story than meets the eye.